Hey everyone, welcome to week 9 of Fat Lad Ad. I'm just off to get this mess cut. So join me after for an after shot, I guess. Anyway. Well, there you go. What do you think? A little bit more human again. Maybe a little bit shorter on the sides than I was maybe liked, but who, you know, whatever. It's cool. It'll see me till Christmas, hopefully. I'll get it done just before Christmas. Yep, looks good to me. Morning everybody, and welcome to week 9 of Fat Lad Ad, me trying to become Fit Lad Ad, soon to be me. I'm out, it's Saturday morning, and I'm out on run 1 of week 7 of my None to Run programme. Now this one is, well, it's the first time I'm trying this. Obviously I've done like 6 runs of the same, so it'll be nice change, although I'm kind of dreading it. This run is basically 5-minute warm-up and then 2 minutes running, followed by a mere 30 seconds of rest. And that's repeated 7 times. So yeah, so 2 minutes running, no problem, with only 30 seconds rest in between. Crapping myself a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. I'm obviously in the 30 seconds, I'm not going to have time really to speak to you to let you know how it's going, so I'll give you a full breakdown at the end. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, hopefully it'll be alright though. I've got to do this week, so this is week 7, and then week 8 is the same, so I've basically got to do this run 6 times as well. So we'll see how it goes. Right, I'll catch you later. Smile and wave for Andy Clayton. In case you're wondering who Andy Clayton is, in that last bit I did to camera, I mean, if you found my channel because of Couch to 5k, chances are you've come across his channel as well, but just in case you know, Andy Clayton is a super positive, well, run vlogger now, but kind of half run, half tech vlogger. He started Couch to 5k I think some 3 years ago, and I've basically binge watching his videos over the last 3 years, and the one I just watched is just done a half marathon distance, which was, I think, was either earlier this year or late last year. Anyway, he's super positive. If you ever feel like you can't be arsed to go out for a run, stick on one of his videos. His personality is super infectious, and big shout out to him. Anyway, as for me, I did that run. I'm not going to lie and say it was easy, but I did it. The only slight hiccup was that, honestly, the Amazon Music app is just not great. It seems to, like, if it loses internet for even just a second, it just doesn't play the next song. I don't know why. It's maybe something I'm doing wrong. Anyway, so my music stopped midway through the second run interval. I mean, 30 seconds, like, to get it out of my pouch and sort it out because like touching the headphones and stuff doesn't do anything. Yeah, so it took me like maybe 45 seconds to sort it out. So like the third run was maybe a little bit shorter, but I felt like I ran a bit faster just to make up for it. Anyway, it wasn't 7 run intervals like I said it was at the beginning, it was 9. So that was quite interesting, but still I did it. Just going to stop my watch. I feel like it should have been faster. I'll see when I look on Strava. I'll put the relive video on here as well once I've finished. But yeah, I feel like it should have been faster because, let's face it, it was more running and less walking. So, and it was like a shorter run overall because there's only 9 intervals instead of 10. Even though if you take each run and rest intervals as one, they were the same length. So I feel like it should have been faster. Because I did the same route as I normally do. I'm going to try at some point this week to get out and do a different route. Maybe just get in the car and go to the park or something, just to have a bit of a change of scenery. But anyway, that was all good. Back on another one on Monday, I guess, and see how that goes. See if it's any easier. As for the rest of the day, I'm just going to chill out, do some bits around the house, and tomorrow I'm either going to, depending on what the weather's like, I'm either going to go out on a bike ride or go on Zwift. But because I had a day off yesterday, so normally Sunday would be my day off, but I didn't do any exercise yesterday, so tomorrow I am going to do something. Anyway, I'll speak to you then. Morning everyone, and welcome to another run. This is week 7, run 2, and it's the same as I've done before, so not really much to say about it. Hopefully it'll go okay. Not long had a breakfast and a cup of coffee, so I'm feeling a little full stomach, but you know, should be okay. Hopefully a bit chilly this morning. I got my merino wool undershirt on, which is a little tight because I've had it for a while, but hopefully will keep me nice and warm and wick the old sweat away from my torso. Anyway, I will speak to you at the end and let you know how it went, because as I keep saying, 30 seconds is just not long enough to be able to get the camera out of my pocket and turn it on and speak to it. And anyway, this is the last of the interval run, so it's just going to be something I'm going to have to get used to, is speaking to you before and after. Anyway, okay, speak to you soon. Oh, the sun's bright. The weather really can't decide what it wants to do today. It's 1 minute it's bright sunshine like this, and the next minute it looks like there's going to be a storm. So I'm glad I got out while I could. Didn't get wet, thankfully. So how was that run? Yeah, it was alright. Struggled a little bit in the middle, maybe like 4th and 5th interval. I think that's kind of standard. You know, you've done quite a lot, so you're knackered, but you've still got quite a lot to do, so it's kind of mentally challenging. But I pushed on, and I did it, thankfully. I will put the relive map thing on, but my watch is basically, it's on its way out. I think I've already mentioned that the battery, basically it had a firmware update a few weeks ago. I think actually the firmware came out like in February or something, but it was the first time I'd sort of connected to my computer a few weeks ago. Actually it's probably better if I pause that so I can speak normally. And yeah, so it updated the firmware, and since then the battery life has gone from maybe 3 to 4 days. This is if you don't include the GPS. if you don't use the GPS, rather. Battery life has gone from 3 to 4 days down to less than 1, and the Garmin forums are full of people complaining about it. And the best Garmin have offered is a replacement of a refurb version, but they want £90 for the privilege, and get a brand new one, sealed, boxed, non-refurb one for 130 off Amazon, so they can screw themselves. But this morning, it seems to have been really struggling with altitude measurement. Like, it records how many staircases you've done based on the altitude, I think. And when I set off, basically, I was on like maybe 1 or 2 staircase climbs. About halfway around the run, I was on maybe like 6 or 7. By the time I finished, I was on 400. Which, I mean, this is a pretty flat route. There's a tiny little climb over a railway bridge, like over a road bridge that used to be under a railway bridge. And yeah, so I think the relay thing will be bollocks. On Strava I can fix it. I can get the altitude corrected via Strava maps. So that's okay, but the relive is based on, see, 410. You see that 410 flights of stairs in about 1.5 kilometres of a flat route. It's just absolute. Oh, it's gone up to nearly 700 in like what, 10 seconds? Absolute bullshit. Anywho, I'm home now. I'll catch you tomorrow probably for another Zwift session. And yeah, so far so good this week. Speak to you later. Hey everyone, welcome to the Zwift session. I say that I'm not recording this Zwift session because it's already quite late in the evening, and I don't have the if I have to go around collecting all my camera gear and setting everything up, I'm just gonna not want to do it. So I'm just gonna get on with it. So it's not going to be a separate video. I'll just speak to you afterwards to let you know how it went and show the summary or the relive, whatever works really. Probably going to do something relatively easy just to keep the legs moving. Excuse me, because I want to concentrate on my running. So I don't want to do it tonight because I want to be able to go for a run in the morning. So yeah, so just like sort of almost like an active recovery kind of thing, just like maybe half an hour, and see how I get on. All right, I'll speak to you then. Well, that was disappointing. Unfortunately, I had to stop after about 9 kilometres. Probably because I went off a bit too hard, and not because I was tired or anything, but my right knee was starting to twinge a little bit, and I didn't want to risk it really. I'm still a bit worried about it, to be honest. But hopefully by stopping when I did and not pushing on, I've prevented something nasty from happening. So I'll just have to see how it is on my run tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be alright. Yeah, it's disappointing, but at least I did something. I did sort of 20 minutes. Quite fast paced actually, to be fair. I quite enjoyed that route. It was short. There was one sort of short climb, which I think if I really wanted to, if I was nicely warmed up, I could probably essentially full gas effort up it. So yeah, that's something I might try in the not too distant future. I am kind of just enjoying going out on Zwift and just, you know, I want to say exploring, but it's not really exploring on a virtual world, is it? Just trying the different routes and finding one that I like. I sort of want to find one that's almost like my home route, essentially, so that I can just do it every couple of weeks and just sort of see how I'm getting on. Sort of instead of like an FTP test every couple of weeks, like still do an FTP test every few months maybe, but or every few weeks. But yeah, just like a home route I can do once or twice a month, and just to sort of see how I'm getting on. Anyway, that'll do it for me for today. Tomorrow morning I'm going to go out for my third run of week 7 of None to Run. Hopefully that's not going to be, hopefully my knee's not going to hurt on that, and if so, I think it'll probably be relatively easy. And then tomorrow evening, it's another one of the old men walking and talking walks, which I haven't decided I'm going to go on yet. I kind of fallen out of love with them a little bit. Just had a couple of not bad experiences. Well, one bad experience and one sort of okayish experience. Anyhow, if I don't go, I'll tell you why tomorrow. If I do go, I'll tell you how it went. And I'll see you on the run tomorrow. Morning everyone, welcome to Wednesday morning of Fat Lad Ad, week 9 I think. I'm on run 3 of week 7. God, all these week numbers confusing the hell out of me. Yeah, week 7 of None to Run. Getting my excuses in early. Really not feeling it this morning. Feeling a bit bloated for some reason. And also, I did a bit of a Zwift session last night, which I had to stop because my knee was sore. So as precaution, I'm wearing a knee support because it's still a little twingy this morning, but only when on extreme bends. So hopefully it'll be alright for running. But if it isn't, I'm going to stop because I don't want to risk being out for longer than absolutely necessary, because I'll just pile the weight back on. So yeah, same as last time, not much to say about it really. 2 minutes running, 30 seconds rest, repeated 9 times. And here we go. And I'll speak to you at the end to let you know how it went. Well, I did it, I guess. I say I guess because I did maybe stop running 1 or 2, maybe 3 seconds before my watch told me to, just because, man, that's the worst I felt running since I started this. Maybe with the exception of the couch to 5k run early on that I failed. I can't really remember them. But yeah, I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like my asthma was getting to me. I couldn't get a full breath. I certainly couldn't time my breath to my rhythm of running, which is what I normally try and do. I felt like I was taking 1.5 breaths to every stride, which probably wasn't the case, but that's what it felt like. I hope you can hear me. It's pretty windy today. I came a slightly different route for my cool down because it's a bit more sheltered in these woods. But anyway, the good thing is my knee was okay. I mean, wearing this knee support was uncomfortable, and I'm not sure how much that was disguising any pain from my actual knee, but from my actual knee injury, if I've got an injury. Yeah, so I think I'll probably wear it 1 or 2 more times just to be sure. Maybe longer if I still feel my knee hurting on my bike or on walks. But yeah, so but the positive is I don't think that's too bad. The other positive is I still, despite maybe a couple of seconds off here and there of the running intervals, I still did it, and I still got to do this run 3 more times. So hopefully by the end of next week, or by the middle of next week, by the time it will be, if I finished this run the 6th time, I'll be ready to move on, because I'll find this one easy. But this was the hardest. This is the 3rd time I've done this run, and this was the hardest by far. Just don't know why really. Anyway, as I've said many times on this channel, you've got to push through the bad days, because if you don't, even the good days feel like bad days. And this was a bad day, and I still pushed through it. It was slower, definitely. It'd be interesting to look at Strava. Just stop my watch a second. Be interesting to look at Strava and see maybe where I went wrong, because I do feel like maybe after the first interval I was a bit ahead by maybe sort of 50 metres or so as to where I normally stop on that after the first interval. But then after the second interval, I was either just behind where I normally stop on the third interval, or just behind where I stop on the second interval. And I don't think I was going that slow, so it'd be interesting to see what Strava says. I do think my walks were a little slow, just because I was really struggling to get my breath back. So I think that's maybe what happened, is maybe my runs were about the same, but my walks were quite slow, just because I really struggled with my breath. Anyway, nearly home now. Get in before it rains, go back to work, well, have a shower and go back to work. And I'll speak to you, if not later today, then tomorrow, for a Zwift session. See you later. Hey everyone, and welcome to the weigh-in at the end of week nine of Fat Lad Ad. Me trying to become Fit Lad Ad, future better me. Fingers crossed. Sorry, it's probably been a bit jarring because last you saw of me, if I'm remembering what I filmed right, is the last you saw of me was my none to run. Week 7 run 3, which I did on Wednesday morning, I think. Yeah, so that was probably the last bit of video that was in this vlog before here. And now we're here at the weigh-in, so what happened, because there probably should have been some other stuff in between. So what happened is, basically either on that run or later on that day, I did my men walking and talking walk in Shrewsbury. And rather than cycling to the start like I have done in the past, I thought I had a bit of time and it was a nice warm evening, so I thought I'd walk. So I ended up walking about almost 10 kilometers. I'll put the relive video on now so you can see how much I did. Okay, and we're back. So I did like sort of 9 bit kilometers, I think. So yeah, either on the run or on that walk, at some point, I did something to my right leg, and I'm not really sure what. I think it was either, if you remember, at the end of my run, I did a slightly different route on the cool down just because it was windy, so I was trying to go through the tree. Like I went through a bit of a wooded area. To keep out of the wind a bit, because I was conscious, and I was starting to look at the footage, so it could be bad. That the wind was going to make the noise, the audio terrible. So I went through this wooded area, and to get to the wooded area, you go down like an embankment, and there is steps, but they're not paved steps. They're like sort of cut with wood, and like you know what I mean. They're like sort of like retaining wood to make the steps. So they're all like different random sizes. So I was going down there and I was messing about trying to get my camera sorted, ready to start recording. And I do seem to vaguely remember maybe just misjudging one of the steps a little bit and sort of jarring down on my right leg. I didn't think too much of it at the time. Certainly didn't hurt really at the time, apart from just being, sometimes when you miss a step or whatever, it's sort of, it's quite jarring. So I didn't think of anything of it. Certainly didn't have any pain or anything by the time I went on my walk at sort of 6:30, quarter past 6-ish, something like that. And I did this walk, and it was a little bit tight. I think my calf was a little bit tight, but I did it and it was fine. And I kind of thought nothing of it. But then, when I woke up on Thursday, it was a little. It wasn't bad, but it was a little like sore in my shin and my calf.
It's best I can explain it. And I do think it was maybe a little swollen, but I don't know for certain. I only know it was. I only think it was swollen because when I took my socks off at the end of Thursday, my right leg, like this, you have like your sock marks where your socks have been all day. It was more pronounced in my right leg than it was in my left leg, and I had the same pair of, the same a pair of socks on. So I do feel like it was maybe like a little bit of swelling there. But anyway, by Thursday evening, when I was supposed to do a Zwift session, it was really painful, and I couldn't do much. I was hobbling around, and I was basically sat with it elevated on the sofa, and felt sorry for myself, hoping that by this morning it would be okay if I rested it. And it was just just something really really minor. So this morning when I got up, um, it's still there. It's not. I don't think it's maybe as painful as it was last night, but it is still there, and I don't want to risk making it worse by because I should have gone for a run this morning, but I just couldn't. Yeah, I just didn't want to risk it, so I didn't. So consequently, like nothing else has happened apart from this weigh-in until now. So the weigh-in. Let's get on with it. I was confident up until like Wednesday. Well, certainly confident up until Thursday. I've done quite a lot of exercise. Some pretty intense exercise as well. So Strava shows you like your weekly sort of intensity versus your average, and it was certainly right up there. So I was hoping that this was going to be a pretty good week. Food wise, maybe a bit hit and miss. I had a fairly hefty meal on Monday night because I had a large pizza delivered rather than a small pizza. So we ordered our online shopping, and I ordered one of those small fresh pizzas. And unfortunately, they didn't have any left, so they substituted with a large one, which is nice because you don't pay extra. But I ate the whole thing because I'm a fat git. And when I sat down and worked out the calories, I was so disappointed in myself. Anyway, but the rest of the week has been pretty good, and even since the injury, it's been pretty good. But yeah, I've kind of lost all my confidence really, and I'm not sure how this weigh-in's going to go. So let's just get on with it. I think last week I was 17 stone 10.6. Don't quote me on that. I didn't write that down. I know I should start writing this down, but yeah, 17 stone. I think it was 17 stone 10.6. So I suspect it's going to be a little bit higher than that, but we never know. Well, let's go with it. Well, yet again, it kind of just shows that if your mindset, I don't even know what to say really. Looking back, as I've already said, I did start off this week really well, apart from the pizza, and my exercise was more intense than it has been, apart from until I got my injury. But because of my injury, I've now got this mindset where I think, oh my god, what am I going to do? I can't lose weight with just dieting or whatever. I need to be able to exercise, and so like I lost all my confidence going into this weight. But actually, I've lost I think £2, which is pretty nice. I'm going to take that and I'm going to bank it. Not far off 17.5 stone, which would be very nice to achieve sometime soon. Anyhow, I put the usual stats up at the end so you can see exactly how much I've lost. Or I might start doing them over this, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's just something that's coming to my head while I'm thinking of things. On to next week, week 10, on to double figures, which is amazing that, I know it's probably not amazing to you that I've been doing this for 10 weeks, but it is to me, especially the sort of vlogging part. I think pretty much thought I would probably have given up by now on the vlogging, but excuse me, I've got an itchy nose. I thought I would have probably given up on the vlogging, but it is kind of it kind of gives me accountability, I guess, that, you know, like I said, that I can, I've got to report my weight. I can't just, you know, I was so if I hadn't been blogging, I probably would have skipped this week's weigh-in, because, as I say, I was so down on what had happened. But I'm glad I didn't, obviously. I mean, even if it had been up a little bit, I'm still glad I didn't. But I still would have been glad I didn't, I think. But yeah, by doing the vlogs, it keeps me accountable to myself and to anybody else who's watching this. I know there's a couple of people watch this, not a huge amount of people, but I know there's a couple of people watch this. They might actually be my family, so hello. And on to next week. This weekend is going to be a little bad. We've got a night out on Saturday, tomorrow, which I've been looking forward to for weeks and weeks. We've had it in the calendar for ages with our neighbours. They're going to take us into town. They're going to take us to their favourite restaurant, and they're going to take us to a couple of their favourite bars, and we're going to get, well, I'm planning to get quite drunk and eat some good food. And certainly now I've lost weight, I'm not going to care too much about it. But hopefully my injury means that I can carry on. I'm probably going to rest it again today, and hopefully in the morning maybe I can do I might do an easy Zwift session. I'm just sort of bending my knee a little bit to sort of see how it feels. I might do an easy Zwift session, or maybe like a very easy run, maybe not even part of my program, just sort of, I don't know, week 1 again, something like that. Anyway, I've rambled on too much. I'll catch you in the next week's vlog.